Well, Aonuma also said that the whole breakable weapons mechanic in Breath of the Wild is created so that players would think more carefully about combat, which kind of hits on something that you said a little while ago, Alex, about how recent games Zelda games kind of just let you mow down enemies like forever. So I wanted to bring this one up because someone said something that really spoke to me in the comment section on this story, which is that they really don't like the idea that by the end of the game you won't have a nice completed inventory where you can use anything you want at any time. And I agree, it's a really fun, cool feeling in Zelda when you get that last item and you kind of feel like you're, the master of the world and the master of the materials. And this game in particular would make that feeling just unbelievably good. So I do kind of hope that there's some kind of ultimate version of every different kind of item. Like, they'd be hard to get, obviously, but I really think that they should be present. In part because completing the inventory is an essential part of any Zelda game to me, and it would be really sad if the game doesn't have a moment like that because, everything's always breaking. But also in part because this world is just so massive and so interesting and fun to interact with that I certainly can't think of a better reward for, doing all that stuff than to just give players unlimited resources of every kind and just let everyone run wild.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Master Sword will sort of be the ultimate unbreakable sword, and we'll probably get maybe the Mirror Shield or something along those lines, but it would be really cool to have just sort of like an uber weapon in each category. But also, I think for the collectionists, they could do sort of like a glossary of items and weapons. Like you could have like a journal or something, not necessarily a journal, but just some sort of documentation showing every kind of bow you've collected and what its stats are, which ones you currently have, which ones you don't, just so people can kind of keep track of all the different things in the overworld.
Yeah, or some kind of a light achievement system where all the sort of Easter eggy type weapons or hard to find weapons are documented specifically.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be good too. I still am really happy about the breakable weapons because...
Oh, for sure.
I said this before, but it makes the game much more balanced.
Yeah.
In the sense that if you are terrible at the game, you can grab the Claymore and just wreck everything on the Great Plateau, or you can be like, I don't need no Claymore, and go beat Step Talus with a stick. Like, it's totally up to you how you want to use your weapons, if you want to get the weapons, whether you want to save the weapons for later. So I agree with you both, though, in that I'd really like to see, if not unbreakable weapons, then certainly really, really strong weapons that can be repaired and that you can kind of hold on to for a long time. But I wouldn't want them necessarily to be items that you get as a required part of the story. I'd really like them to be kind of super secret, really hard to get, not necessarily required weapons, because I feel like it would break the approach they're taking to balance if at some point you do get a weapon that doesn't break.
Yeah, like the whole idea just has me thinking of kind of like the Bigoron sword in Ocarina of Time. You have to go do all these. It's like a side quest chain, and that I feel like is a little outdated now. But the idea that it's an optional thing, it's like the ultimate weapon, and you have to do like very secret big things like that in order to get them.
Clear particularly hard dungeons.
Yeah, exactly. I could see a really difficult shrine toward the end of the game that's really complex.
Yeah.
Requires you to maybe have all your runes upgraded or something like that, and that's how you get the best shield that doesn't break or something.
It's also, I guess, possible that, all the special items like the magnet and stuff, those are the ones where you get a completed inventory, and just the swords and shields and stuff, you don't, really need to think about it in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. That is another consideration, because they have said that the runes will be upgradable.
Yeah. And in a somewhat similar vein, Miyamoto said that there's no green tunic, at least so far, in Breath of the Wild, because otherwise players would probably just want to wear that and never anything else. His answer specifically included the phrase, I don't know, but there are just a lot of clothes.
I don't know what to wear.
Anyway, I think this idea kind of ties back to what we were just saying, because whether or not they do all that with the inventory, I am totally confident they're going to do it with the clothes and the green tunic, and the tights and everything are going to be acquired at, like, almost the very end of the game. They'll probably be, like, the best equipment you can get for most situations, if not all. And Ben, like you said, the Master Sword, I think, will probably be the unbreakable, super powerful weapon, stuff like that.
I think this goes to show, and I think we might have even speculated on this back before the game was re-unveiled, but it goes to show that a lot of the decisions they made about what they showed us at first, when they first showed off this game in 2014, were designed around the idea of teasing sort of game mechanics that you hadn't really been told about yet. And I think I even said back in 2014, I think they're probably showing us a Link wearing different clothes because there will be different equipment options in this game. And lo and behold, that's what Miyamoto is saying was the point of giving him this blue tunic at the beginning. Or toward the beginning, is they want players to use a bunch of different kinds of clothes. They don't want them to just get the green tunic at the beginning of the game and never change it out as they go.
Hello everybody, thank you for listening to this Nintendo Week clip, NWC. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more highlights and discussion videos from Nintendo Week podcast, or subscribe to us on iTunes for weekly breakdowns of all your Nintendo news, discussion segments on subjects, games, and more, and tons of other features. Thanks for listening, and we will see you tomorrow with another NWC.